This is Individual Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Daris D, McKinney. And I had both of my computers like uploading this stuff to distribution for the films. I'm a filmmaker, so you'll find that I do this a lot. I had both of my computers dealing with distribution and some things that I had to deliver to distribution, and boy, I couldn't use the computer either or. So I couldn't do my podcast because I need the software and need to connect. And it's just better from graphics and all that stuff to do it from my desktops and stuff like that. Boy. So I couldn't even get on for the last 2 days. I'm like, oh my God. I'm starting off the year a little wow, but I wanted to come in and just give a perspective of what's going on in Individual Perspective Podcast and pretty much what I'm doing and what's the motivation and the things that are popping off and everything like that. What I want to say is that sometimes you got to lock in so much and do so much to kind of reach that actual level that you're trying to get at. And if you do that, it is aggressive. It's very, very aggressive, and you'll find that you're doing a lot of I'm trying to watch my stream too at the same time because I'm getting some streaming data. It lets me know that I'm lagging a little bit, but it looks good. It doesn't look bad, so I'm gonna keep going. So you got the Venezuela stuff, you have the immigration, illegal immigration arousal and stuff like that. And just it's a lot going on, even in just how it plays a factor to individual people's life, or pretty much the majority of all our lives and stuff, how all this stuff kind of plays a factor to us. And I always tell people, pay attention to the people that are doing really, really good. They're financially good. They can give, like, they can take like 3-5 years talking stuff and having all these lofty ideas of grandeur and social dynamics and stuff like that, because their economics is pretty strong. It's very strong. And when they're like that, they can have these lofty ideas of simplifications, like things are just simple. And the truth of the matter is, hard decisions got to be made on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes hard decisions are made pretty much with a lot of successful people. It doesn't look like it's a hard decision because they're in a routine. They're in like a mindset to how they conduct themselves and how they conduct what they want, outcomes that they want, and how they conduct themselves to like what kind of business or interactions that they need to have, how they need to grow, and the outcome that they feel like they want to have. It doesn't look like it's a stressful and detail orientated and decision making task on a minute to minute basis, because they're in a routine. That's what I'm telling you. So my point of it is to say, like, a lot of the things that the average person has to kind of start this year off, if you can, maybe you got too much kids, it's just too much hectic for you to kind of implement any more strategies or mindsets or anything into your life, because you got to just make it happen. And I totally get that. But I'm just saying, in order to combat this new economic system that's in this country that's been pretty much wearing and tearing on us for the last, I'll say, 5 to 10 years. It's been really kind of getting into the motion of normality to our world, to our lives. And if you want to combat it, you're gonna have to take on a self-preservation persona, a self-preservation a culture about how you do things. Why? Because to preserve oneself will allow for stability to plant its feet. And you need some stability to plant your feet. It gives you the ability to make changes and implement a redundant mindset. But first you have to let stability plant its feet. So you almost got to put yourself in a situation like, if I was to say, what do I see the average person, no matter what you're doing, no matter what your hobbies are, no matter what your goals are, excuse me, what do I see from the average person and what their mindset needs to be? I see that, and I've said this in previous episodes and even on some other channels that I kind of do my thoughts on and everything like that. I want people to understand, in America, the average income for the average person, that means 60 to 70% of the population, ranges from $32,000 to $47,000 a year. Okay. If that's where the average person is ranging, then the average person needs to double that in their outcome. Why? Because it puts you in a situation where you're above what's normal. You get what I'm saying? And then you'll start to grab what the new society is saying what's normal, because they're not saying it's normal. They're kind of making it seem like that, like you always hear about people talk. I was watching an interview by Tucker Carlson and Matt Walsh, and he said that I wish I could pull that up. Well, I can, but I don't want to go detailed into the technical stuff. I'll do that when I come back. I'll be doing another show about maybe another hour or two, and I will go into some detailed clips and stuff like that, talk about Venezuela, different stuff that's going on, and Charlie Kirk's murder, and Donald Trump's first year as president, and his second term, and all that stuff. We'll go into the details, celebrity stuff, relationship stuff. We'll dig into a lot of that stuff. But you're gonna have to make, let's say, I always say it's good to make $37,000 to $75 an hour. $37 to $75 an hour, because you need to bring home $300 to $600 a day. At least your household needs to. Okay. If you're able to do that, then you're able to play above. Not above, but you're playing into what the real situation is going on with our economics in this country, because the communication from banks and all that, the companies and everything they double charge us now, and they won't say they did. They won't say they're doing it. A candy bar, they already put double charges on it since the pandemic. They never brought it back down to what's manufacturing level that they can afford to do barter trade with. Like $1, it used to be $1 to $1.50 for a candy bar. Now it's $3. Okay, so what's the real number on that? The real manufacturing number is about $1.50 to $2. Okay, but they're making you pay $1 more for it. Why are they doing that? Because it's because you have Democrats, you have Republicans, you have Democrats, you have liberals, you have conservative, and they're fighting to say it's your fault that everything is higher. So companies actually raise their prices, put more more money so they can actually make a year profit ahead of time. So if a loaf of bread is worth $2, they'll put $3.30 on it. Why? Because they're making their money for the following year right now, so they won't live in the time that we're living in. So the manufacturing of it is lower. It's pretty much pre-pandemic levels, but at the same time, because our country is a political country now, it's not, and it's always been political, I guess, but it's not about the barter trade anymore. It's about who's got political power. And you got ABC, that's Walt Disney. You have CBS, that's Paramount. You have Fox News and Fox local channels, that's Disney. You know, you have CNN, that's Time Warner, that's Warner Brothers. You have different little, like the top 4 studios in the country that makes movies, that buy movies, that distribute movies, that license movies. They do the barter trade of releasing a movie. The top 4: Disney, Paramount, Universal Studio, and Warner Brothers. Okay, they got control pretty much of how things are going to be communicated to the masses. So the bad part about this is even you got Amazon owns Washington Post News. Then you got Time Warner. I mean, not Time Warner. You got Time, New York Times, and they're pretty much in a cohesiveness with all the liberal stuff and everything like that. And if majority of the way that we watch our everyday news and get our everyday information is pretty much liberal, and I'm not saying you can't be liberal and that's a problem being liberal. I'm just saying it's what it is. What is liberal? Liberal is to allow whatever happens. That's the mindset of liberalism. Whatever happens, and we gotta make our bed with it. Republican conservatism, that means like we gotta be accountable for what happens or what is going on and the decisions that we're making and what we are doing. We have to be a little bit more accountable for it. And liberals say, out of the environment, sometimes you'll do something because the environment is what it is and you reacted to the environment. So we must find some compassion to how you reacted, what decisions you make, and what did you do, because sometimes there's factors that's coming at you from other people and other situations of the environment that puts you in a situation where you have to fight for your life or whatever the situation is. So sometimes it's so black and white. It's more like you have to do what you got to do, and sometimes that may not be good in what the outcome is. So we're gonna try to have a basis to assist you in whatever happened. We're gonna try to get you through it. You know what I mean? And conservatives, they say like whatever happens, you need to be accountable for whatever happens, and no matter what happens around you, you still have the choice and the decision to make what you do. So whatever you decided to do, you need to be accountable for that. That world, these two fashions have decided that for. You get what I'm saying? So meaning that, let's say if an individual person, you're focusing and you're driving yourself to a goal, to an outcome that you're kind of going for. There's so much of people's persona of what should happen and how people should conduct themselves and what should they start to put that into motion, where no matter what you do, you're still going to come somewhat out on the outcome of who's winning politically. That's a problem. So people don't understand that, okay, when you're looking at your gas inside your state at I guess you got to go to the unleaded, because that's what people counting. They don't really count the medium and premium, which they all should, but they count the unleaded. So if it's $2.99, but the actual oil value is more at $2. So what is the other 99 cent coming in at? It's the normality of the area. The one gas station sees down the street that another person is doing $2.99. So even if they could do $2.50, they'll do it $2.99. Why? Because majority, everybody's doing it. If another person is doing $2.99, another person is doing $2.79, the $2.50 gas station is going to raise his prices up to $2.99, even if he don't have to. So when you get in that, so you got tax, you got the state tax put on top of your gas, and you got the inflation or the influx of what everybody in all the majority gas stations are doing around the area, that they're kind of making the decision for that extra amount that they put on there. So you may have 50 cent to 60 cent additional price put on your gas because it's what's going on normally in the area you're in. It don't have nothing to do with state tax, and it don't have nothing to do with the barter trade of oil in the country and gasoline in the country. This is happening everywhere. This used to be only like gas and certain things and everything like that, gold or something like that. But now, effective about 3-4 years ago, and I'll say the pandemic time and everything, everybody got away with inflating their prices like that. And there's no regulation on, wow, man, why you raising your price like that? And it doesn't need to be that way. It's because the states, they're actually squeezing people for percentages, and then you have the actual companies making sure that they make their margins where they can survive, and they could kind of overcome from the losses that they took through the pandemic. So you see a very passive aggressive barter trade going on in our country, and it's been going on for about 5 to 10 years, but really you can see it since the pandemic, so about 4 to 5 years. So when you understand that no matter what companies are doing and the country is doing and the states are doing governmentally to entrepreneurs and owners of establishments, the person that's paying is the person that's getting beat the most is the consumer. It's the person that's purchasing the actual products and the stuff. We're getting, like, they're attacking us, and we're coming there to keep their store alive and purchasing the service. But their thing is, well, you gotta purchase this, so we don't have to submit. We don't have to advertise or play to are you going to go to this store, or are you going to go to this store? Are you going to go to this gas station, or are you going to go to this gas station? Are you going to buy this product, or are you going to buy this product? We don't have to play it to that no more, because we all came together to say we'll have the same pricing. We'll say have the same thing. So whatever your favorite is, or whatever colors or fonts is gravitating you, or conveniency, because most of the time a lot of people get stuff for convenience. They go to this gas station because it's close to home. It's close to what they see the first time. What's the first hit that they see? So that may play a factor to the overall success of a company or a actual establishment. But we suffer because we don't know what the pricing should be. We have no idea if somebody inflating their prices, and we would alienate or we would bar ourselves from purchasing that product or going to that place because we know they're overinflating their prices. Everything, the normality is what's not fair. That's what the normality is. What's not just. That's what the normality is. And if that's the normality, in order to play above that, you gotta somewhat do what they're not talking about. So if $15 an hour makes you have to have $37 an hour, because it takes you out of what's something that you chasing your tail, and you're always been sporadic and things are just always hectic for you. So once you see that, that lets you know that's why you gotta have your $37 to $75 an hour, $300 to $600 a day. That puts you in a place where you could play over what the trick is. Because the trick is to make you where you can't control what's going on. And you're trying to catch your breath every second of the day. Okay? That's what I wanted to kind of talk to you guys for just a moment. And I'll come back in and we'll do an episode. But like I said, we have to combat the actual negative attack on the average. You know what I mean? The level up culture is ridiculous. I heard even like what I was saying about Tucker Carlson and the Matt Walsh, he was saying, it's such a bad thing because before, a person working at a restaurant, it used to be only young people getting themselves through high school and college. But that's dumb, you idiot. That's stupid. Because while they're in college and while they're in high school in the morning, who's running the company? Who's doing the delivery? Who's doing lunchtime? Who's doing like the service of the company majority of the day? It's elder people. It's adults. And it has always been like that through the beginning of commerce and bar employment market. That's a highfalutin thought process that's been given to us in the last 20, like I'll say 50 to 60 years. It hasn't always been like that. And it made the world unstable, and we judge each other too. So if you see a 60-year-old person working at McDonald's or Popeyes, or you see a 50-year-old person or a 40-year-old person, 30-year-old person working at McDonald's, the emote is to say, this is a lifeless person. This person don't deserve respect or gratitude because they're a failure. Psychosis. That's what our culture is telling us to treat everybody like, because only young people are supposed to be working at certain jobs. So everybody that's over 30, over 40, you should be at a Fortune 500 company. You should be at a $100,000 a year corporate company. And if you're not, if you're a garbage man, if you're a stock shelf person, if you're working at a register in a Walmart or Myers, or if you're a Popeye's chicken employee, if you're working over 30 years old at any of these places, then you're a complete failure and you should have no respect. That's terrible. But that's what Matt Walsh, that's what a lot of social media influencers, like all these podcasts, all these manosphere and a lot of guys, this is what they say, and this is how they actually want the conduct, how they want us to conduct with each other. But all these guys go to grocery stores and restaurants and fast food places and stuff like that, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Yes, the average person, because our economic warfare that's going on in our country, they have to have 2 McDonald's jobs. They have to have 2 Popeye's chicken jobs. They gotta have 2 Walmart jobs in order to beat the trick of society and social and elitist domination. That's what's going on. Okay. I just wanted to say that to you guys. Look, I'll be coming back. My name is Daris D. McKinney. This is Individual Perspective Podcast, and we are back, and we're going to keep going. I'll see you guys soon. After I press all these buttons, I'll see you guys soon. Check you out.